Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Sultanate strongly condemns the terrorist suicide bombings in Tunis. "150 housing units are constructed as part of compensation for houses and residential units previously built in Duqm Special Economic Zone area. And the Group of 20 summit starts in Japan. Those are the headlines, and now for the news in detail. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs today issued a statement condemning the twin attacks in the Republic of Tunisia. The statement said that the Sultanate strongly condemned the terrorist suicide bombings that took place yesterday in Tunis and affirms its fraternal solidarity with the beloved Republic of Tunisia to take all measures to protect its security and stability against the violence and terrorism. 150 housing units were constructed and handed over to citizens who have been affected by the Duqm Special Zone. The new established houses and residential units took into account the design used in economic modern cities. Each housing units offer its residents over 390 square meters, built-up areas, and include 6 bedrooms and other essential areas and services, such as ultra-speed internet cables and sufficient parking spaces. The residential areas include a mosque, a city hall, and commercial stores, covering various needs of its residents. Sultanate of Oman, represented by Public Authority for Radio and Television, participated in the 20th Arab Radio and TV Festival in Tunisia. Oman's participation came to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the establishment for Arab States Broadcasting Union, which currently includes in its membership. The annual festival aims at promoting Arab radio and TV production in cooperation between the ASBU members and sharing news and producing quality programs that meet the aspirations of the Arab audience.
احرص على التأكد من بياناتك الانتخابية من خلال الموقع الإلكتروني للانتخابات elections.om. انتخابات أعضاء مجلس الشورى للفترة التاسعة. مع تحيات وزارة الداخلية.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. World leaders attending a Group of 20 summit in Osaka, Japan began today are clashing over values that have served for decades as the foundation of their cooperation as they face calls to fend off threats to economic growth. The Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe told his counterparts in opening the 2-day G20 meeting, which comes as leaders grapple with profound tensions over trade, globalization, and the collapsing nuclear deal with Iran, that a free and open economy is the basis for peace and prosperity. While groups like the G20 endeavour to forge consensus on broad policy approaches and geopolitical issues, they are also divided on an array of issues. European Union Council President Donald Tusk blasted the Russian President Vladimir Putin for saying in an interview with the Financial Times newspaper that liberalism was obsolete and conflicts with the overwhelmingly majority in many countries. Jean-Claude Juncker, president of the EU Commission, told the G20 leaders their work was essential for building confidence to keep the world economy growing. World powers warned Iran to stick to the terms of their nuclear deal as they met today for last chance talks to save the accord. But with Tehran demanding a reprieve from punishing US sanctions, expectations of a breakthrough are low. President Donald Trump last year pulled the United States out of the multinational deal, under which sanctions on Iran were lifted in return for curbs on its nuclear program, verified by the International Atomic Energy Agency. Washington has since reimposed tough sanctions on Iran, aiming to cut the Islamic Republic's oil sales to zero, to force it to negotiate a broader deal that would also cover its ballistic missile capabilities and regional influence. Senior diplomats from the remaining signatories to the accord, Britain, China, France, Germany, and Russia, met Iran's officials in Vienna today, with Tehran threatening to exceed the maximum amount of enriched uranium it is allowed under the deal, adding to fears of a military escalation in the region. The Sultanate of Oman participated in the Arab Ministerial Water Council meeting, which took place in the Arab League in Cairo. The meeting reviewed the implementation and the action plan for Arab water security strategy and the current water security threats in the region. The meeting discussed the preparations of Arab countries for the 9th World Water Forum and the Israel transgressions against the water resources in Palestine, Golan Heights and south of Lebanon. The Omani delegation was headed by His Excellency Engineer Ali bin Mohammed Al Abri, Undersecretary of Ministry of Regional, Municipality and Water Resources. Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over most of the governorates, with chances of low cloud and fog late at night and early morning over the coasts of the Arabian Sea. Clear to partly cloudy skies with chances of intermittent drizzle are expected over the governorates of Dhofar, and winds will be southeasterly light to moderate. Seas will be moderate with a maximum wave height of 2 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Sultanate strongly condemns the terrorist suicide bombings in Tunis. 150 housing units are constructed as part of compensation for houses and residential units previously built in Dukhan's Special Economic Zone area. And the Group of 20 Summit starts in Japan. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studio, it's good night.